video. As always, you're joined by me, Jay, and we've got no Chris Hay this week. We are joined by the one and only
Jamie Giblin.
Jamie Giblin of Steamforge News / the GBHL podcast / tournaments that we run.
Yep.
And Jamie's agreed to join me today. Me and Chris have struggled meeting up, and rather than making you wait for the video, Jamie's kindly stepped in. So, first thing I'd like to say is thank you, because I made a bit of an appeal for more questions, and we have lots and lots this week. So I think we'll dive straight in. Do you want to do the first one?
Okay, it's from Hot Gates Gaming. He says, "Woohoo! Looking forward to watching this later. What is it they say first?"
Well, not cool, man.
Not cool.
Not cool.
Next.
Cool. Next. Yep. So Justin Cader, how you doing, Justin? He's
Trent.
Oh, sorry, Trent Dennison. I'm getting rather overexcited. So Trent Dennison, you've said for next week's Q&A, aesthetically, which guild is the most unique to Guild Ball? And if you were selling the game to a modeler and wanted them to be enthusiastic about the conversion opportunities, which guild would you recommend? Right. So first one, aesthetically, which guild would you say is the most unique?
I think the Brewers. I think you get very many Scotsmen in the wargaming world.
True.
Not many.
It's tough because I'd say they're all to a degree unique because there isn't two that are very similar at all, really. I'd say, the Brewers, the Engineers as well. Whether you like them or not is a different story because I know they're very love-hate, but aesthetically I'd say they are one of the more unique ones. They've got quite a distinguishing look. I'll go with that. And then the second part of the question is...
the conversion opportunities.
We're not seeing a great deal of...
Yeah, the conversions for Guild Ball don't really seem to be happening yet.
I'd say Alchemist, because they're one of the only teams I've seen conversions for. Like the overhead kick vitriol is a quite common one, or the one on the rock like Chris has done.
Yeah, Midas converted to have like a
sliding blow. But there's not really been a huge amount of conversions.
No,
I think
Chris Hay's heading that up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just Chris Hay basically.
Just Chris Hay butchering models.
Yeah, number 4.
Although I think actually Engineers, we know of George Perkins.
Is it a conversion?
Doing the velocities.
Oh, of course, yeah. George has got a very good idea, which is he wants to take all the Union players that can play for the Engineers and give them effectively wooden arms and legs and stuff. So they look. That'd be cool. I'm stealing that as well. I'm totally stealing that. Well, thank you for the question, Trent.
Next up is Justin Cader. He says, question, who is the best number 4 player in the Guild Ball community? We all know that's Chris Hay.
Chris Hay lives in 4th. That's like his sweet spot right there.
Engineers are extremely difficult to play against. Do you have any tips to generally to beat them?
Tips to beat the Engineers. I think one of the best tools you can have against Engineers isn't really a tactic, it's high defence.
Yes, if you can have high defence or something there.
Because if you look at Ballista and Salvo, and it's one of my main issues with getting the Engineers to work right, they're going to invest 6 to 7 influence a turn in ranged attacks.
Yeah.
If that misses, things start to fall down. So if you've got your models with 5+ defence, 6+ defence, that's going to make it a lot harder for those ranged attacks to hit, which is one of their key sort of abilities. It's what they're good at. So in a tournament setting, if you've got 8 players, you'll potentially pick your 6, looking at the defences.
4+, 5+.
Exactly, yeah. That's probably one of the biggest tips I can give you for the Engineers.
Which models were missed in the errata? I don't think any were really missed in the errata. There's no one I think now was a bit too powerful.
No one was missed. No, I agree. I don't think anyone was missed. No. Yeah, I'm happy with that, to be honest,
I think they got it pretty spot on.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And can Chris Hay give me a shout out? No.
Nope, he's not here. Ask again next week. Another comment on the video, and maybe he'll give you a shout out then. So, cheers as always, Justin, for asking a question. And next up, we've got another one from Hot Gates Gaming, and he says, "Thank you for the great answer regarding Meat Hook, and for the shout out regarding Abattoir Away Days." It is a cool name, man. I do like the name. Tough to film, but hopefully worth it. What were your thoughts and opinions given it moves away from the static camera coverage we've seen so far on Guild Ball TV, brackets GBHL podcast, and the likes of Battle Hammer? Should we deal with that bit first? I think. I like the videos. Have you watched them?
Yeah, I've watched one of them.
Yeah, they're pretty. It's good. The only thing I struggle with is Guild Ball. You really need spatial awarenesses in the board. Yeah. I love that style of battle report that you guys do. You as well. But it's tough in Guild Ball because you need to see the positioning of models for
where things are in relative to each other.
Exactly.
So, are you running the right direction? Are you making the right charge? Just that kind of thing.
Exactly.
At a more competitive level of play.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always said the ideal battle report would be both.
Yeah.
You'd have the fixed camera with that one as well, but it becomes an editing nightmare.
Yes.
But they're looking really good, man. Good on you. And then he says, more butcher related questions. Number 1, when is the right time to drop Boar?
So I think drop Boar as in drop him out of the team.
Yeah, not on the field.
Engineers.
Yep, Engineers, definitely.
The Salvo would just have him knocked down the entire game.
Gassed.
Yes, yeah.
If you're playing the Morticians and Gassed.
Gassed / Fangtooth.
Yeah, they literally Gassed shuts him down because of the extra one every time. So it's free chat, yeah.
But then essentially someone else has to hit Fangtooth so you can activate Boar to hit him.
Yeah, so there are certain models that are very good direct counters for Boar, i.e. Fangtooth and Gassed. Yeah, I'd say they're the key times. Other than that, he's always a solid choice just because even if he doesn't get it off every turn, the amount of damage output he can give you
and
with Ox and
the
stuff.
threat of him.
Absolutely, you can use him as a bit of an intimidation piece more than anything. Next up, now Tenderizer has been out a little while, is he worth including? I've gone full circle on this. I was like, goalkeepers are great, and then I used him at Mansfield, and I was like, goalkeepers are still good, and now I'm kind of gone off the boil with him, if I'm honest.
I'm not sold on the goalkeepers. I mean, Tenderizer, I think, is the better of the two.
Yeah, he's got a much better playbook. So he can go upfield. You can forget his goalkeeper stuff, and he can go field front. Yeah. Does he have a knockdown on 2?
I'm not sure.
I think he does, which is a good tool in itself. Yeah.
With Tenderizer, I think just making the goals harder to score. I think that should be the base for all goalkeepers.
Yeah.
Because I found that Compound's +1 impetus kick with a 6-inch aura.
It's the fact that he has to activate it.
He has to activate it, and people can shoot from outside it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of players that can go to like 8 inches. Some of them have 8-inch native kicks, and it's the fact that because he has to activate it, it screws your order for the turn up.
Or you just when he's stood in front of the goal, you just move to the side out of that 6. Yes. Still in 6 of the goal. You know, there's places you can.
It's a lot easier to deal with. I think Tenderizer would be better in any team other than the Butchers. Because him sitting back is a complete opposite to what the rest of your Butchers are going to be doing. Yeah. So you're missing a lot of damage output there.
Up front,
But yeah, he's good. It all very much depends on how you play the Butchers. I know you play a lot more football than most with them. So, but let us know what you think. And then last, he says, how did Pure Guild Day 2 go for you at the Skaldic Shield?
It was fantastic.
I bet it was, Jamie Giblin. Is it a format that's worth bringing back, and were there any surprises? I think it went really well. Everyone enjoyed it.
I think Pure Guild was good.
It was fun speaking to people because they were using models from their guild. They weren't using and just taking Union out really changed people's playstyles because they were missing the tools that they sought for a while. I very much said Masons and Brewers were going to rule the day, which in the most part, Masons and Brewers were up there, as well as the Union team as well. So I think it was very good. I'd definitely like to try it again. Would you do it again?
I'd do it again.
A lot of people enjoyed it. I was a bit worried about how people would take it, but it went down really well. Actually,
it went really well. I think the Union inclusion in main teams at tournaments is something everyone accepts has to be done. Yeah. To be competitive, but I think everybody likes the idea of playing Pure Guild because that's how it's meant to be played.
Like I have a lot of credit for like Jay Clare for one person because he just plays Pure Masons anyway.
He only plays Pure Masons.
Yeah, he took them on the Saturday and did very well as well, which is interesting. And then he says, "That's it for now. Keep up the good work. Both evolving to a really good standard of YouTube. Insert YouTube you love here." Cheers, James, and as always, thanks for the comment and supporting us, buddy. It's much appreciated.
Yep. Next up, we got Paul Field 8. He says, "Great show, guys. Really enjoying the On the Ball series.
Happy days.
My question is, what do you guys think Pinvice will bring to the Engineers? As at the moment, Ballista is the key for momentum in the team."
I don't know, but I'm looking forward to Pinvice coming so I can drop Ballista. As much as I rate Ballista as a great player, being at the moment Salvo is the one I drop because again I'm investing too much a turn into ranged attacks.
3 into Salvo.
Yeah, I would. Salvo is out at the moment, but as soon as I can take anyone but Ballista, Salvo is straight back into the team. But at the moment, 7 influence on you don't have to spend it, but Ballista's always going to get that 4, isn't he?
Yeah, and you'd expect him to get.
Yeah, and it's just too much. So I'm not. So the model's got sort of like meat hook style claws.
Yeah, it's got Pinvice.
Pinvice, sorry, yeah. And it's wooden legs, so maybe fast. Yeah, going to be a Mechanicum, I should imagine, but I don't know. Hopefully we'll find out soon. I believe Captains are next.
I don't know, I think so, yeah. I think when she comes out, can you then make a full Mechanicum team?
So we've got
obviously
Ratchet, no, not Ratchet, Mainspring, Colossus.
So you got Pinvice, the mascot.
Pinvice, mascot, Colossus,
Hoist,
Velocity, no.
No, so you'd have Ratchet then.
You'd have because Ratchet is an AoE support character.
Yeah.
Ratchet would become a lot better with the full. That's pretty good actually.
Yeah.
So I'm as a player who loves the engineers, as I keep banging on about, I'm very excited for seeing this stuff. So I can't wait to find it, and hopefully we will all find out something more soon. Cheers for the question, bud.
Next up.
Yeah, next up is Lord Ian Marley. How you doing, Ian? And he says, sorry for the lack of question last week. It's not good enough, is it?
It's not.
It's a disgrace. Wait till I see you at Stockton. He's taking engineers as well.
Oh, is he?
He is.
He's well gone with that.
I said that to be honest. He smashes me on Vassal and he doesn't play. Anyway, Ian says, I've been busy and I just forgot. I would like to offer an opinion on the engineers are sort of like the theme of this. Yeah. I would like to offer an opinion on the engineers teams mentioned last week. My 8 is Ballista, Mainspring, Ratchet, Colossus, Velocity, Rage, Gutter and Decimate. I don't like goalkeepers for the same reasons as Chris has said, and I think engineers are already a very defensive team, absolutely, without adding a defensive player to the mix. Salvo I don't take because he's influence hungry, agreed, and you don't get a good return on his influence as you can from other players, as he gets bonus time. As he can bonus time 1 for free, then after that all his character plays are on 1 dice. That's it as well with Salvo, the very hit and miss.
Yeah.
To generate momentum, you need him to follow Ballista around, which is a heal as much as a boon. Yeah, agreed, because you don't... Like, Ballista's going to sit sort of just back from the middle of the pitch. Yeah. You want Ballista sort of flying around, because of swift strides and stuff as well. You want him nipping around the outside. Salvo, yeah. I hate Ratchet, but he's a must, otherwise Mainspring becomes awful. Agreed. Yeah. Ian is very good at the old second wind overclocked. Boom, 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 boom every turn. Yeah. And it can be... Well, last time we played, and I think it was pre-errata, my Hemlock died purely because he was making sure the AoE hit her every turn. He never actually targeted Hemlock. Yeah. Very good. Where are we up to? Yep. I think you will see no Ratchet once engineers get a second mascot. I can probably agree with that. Yeah.
It depends on Pinvice and what she
brings. But like you say though, we say that, but then you've got to look at, like we say, you could have the all mechanic scene. Yeah. He's got, it's effectively smelling salts, isn't it, for mechanical, which is good. Decimate is awesome with 1,000 cuts as it improves your character play's chance to hit. That's very true actually. -2 defense, and also provides a good tack option as engineers are all tack 4 or less except Colossus. Brackets, who is amazing, second best big guy in the game for me. This is only my experience. All valid points. I'd agree with him.
Yeah.
I so wish Decimate hadn't been around. Totally needed.
Decimate needed.
Yeah, Decimate was one of the ones that really needed it. But it breaks my heart using Decimate now. Because I only really started using Decimate just before the errata when we went to Mansfield. So, and I was like, this is amazing! And then they took it away.
Good. They needed to. Too many people... If you could take Decimate, you would. That was the problem.
Yeah.
Same with Gutter. If you can take it, you will.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I still think Gutter might need it, personally.
Yep, needs a bit more.
Need a bit more fine tuning, just because the 1 damage from chain grab being lost isn't enough.
No, it's not.
It helps massively.
Yeah. Given the massive damage output she can do, having a control element and a movement element as well is just insane.
I think if chain grab was once per turn, even if it was 1 damage but just became once per turn, then I think that'd be much.
No, it's not even that, because do you see chain grab going off more than once per turn?
Well, no.
It's usually once they get you in.
No, you don't.
Or you can only use it.
You can only use it once per turn. So if you do it once, you've missed. You can't just go, alright, 1 dice it, or 1 dice it, or 1 dice it.
Do you know what? I agree with that.
I 1 dice it, alright, I pulled you in, the rest of my team's going to beat you up now. That's where the problem lies, not I'm going to multiple chain grab.
Yeah.
That I'll do it, I've missed, I'll do it again, I've got you.
Yeah.
Someone else can now beat you up.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And his last point about Colossus, what do you think about that? Would you say he's the second best big guy in the game? I actually agree with him. The way I look at Colossus, he's got the first knockdown. So I use him very much as a going, and me and Ian were talking about this, and he's very good to get in the face, not put things on the floor, a la Fangtooth, and then snapshots.
Yeah.
Get it, and now he's got his 2 armour as well. Get him in a place where he can receive and snapshot.
I'm not sure about second best. Maybe as a solo player, but in the team he's in, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Fangtooth is, I think, the best at the moment.
The player who you said you would never ever use because he's rubbish.
I used him before.
Never.
For the Grimlass. Like twice.
Yeah, twice, totally.
Yeah, and then, he got more playtime than Kraken.
It doesn't sound quite as good, does it? Fangtooth is hard. Like, we had Shark is hard when we realised how good Shark was. Fangtooth. We'll think of something. Yeah. Fangtooth is the best big guy.
Fangtooth's the best big guy, I think, personally. Yeah. See, then I think that
Catalyst. I've got so much love for Catalyst.
Catalyst is good.
Yeah.
Despite what people think, Catalyst is good.
Catalyst damage output is ridiculous.
Yeah, like we played it on the day one of Skaldic, where we're throwing out the conditions and intensifying.
Bang,
Momentously intensifying. It was
it's obscene, yeah. So I agree with everything you say, and cheers for the input. Me and Ian are both, well, if my engineers are done from Yggdrasil, we're both taking engineers to Stockton. Oh, yeah. So we're going for the bounty, man. We're going for it. And we'll probably both be sat on bottom table. Sulking, but it's fine. Yeah. So cheers, Ian, for the question, and we'll speak to you again next week.
Next up, we got David Letterbridge. He says, question for next show. We've seen Truffles on Lockbox, but what creatures / mechanisms do you think we'll see for other Season 2 mascots?
Ooh. Tough.
It's hard to answer.
Have we seen?
It's hard not to.
You know everything.
I know, but I can't say.
So, since we do have a member of Steamforge staff here, should we graze over that one?
Yeah.
Because that is a tough one to answer.
I'm not allowed to answer. So
what I would say is, anyone watching, let us know what you think would be a good mascot for each guild in the comments below.
That's a good workaround.
Yeah, you let us know which one, and we'll have a chat about it next week when we've got nobody who's official sat next to me. Yeah, exactly. So cheers for the question anyway, David. Sorry we've kind of skirted around it.
Sorry.
Next up, we've got Peter O'Sullivan, and he says, question, should you be able to use Furious as a way to sprint without spending an influence? Thoughts?
I think no.
I agree. Do you remember when we found this out in the early days?
It feels so wrong.
Because we never did it that way. No. And one day, I think I was speaking to someone, I said to Jamie, I said, look what I can do for free. And it was like, that's not... I believe it's the same in War Machine and Malifaux. They have the same mechanic.
If you fail a charge, you move your full distance, but that's it.
Yeah.
But for these guys, like early in the game, you go, right, I'll charge that model, I'll move my full distance, and someone else gets an extra...
It's not that devastating though, because it's usually only turn one you see it, and they're going directly towards a model rather than maybe exactly where they want to be. Yeah. But I've only ever really seen it turn one, or late game when Boar is way outfield. But once he's way outfield, you've done your job at that point.
You know, he's been taken off, comes back on. It's like, well, he can just have the free charge towards someone.
Yeah, it is a bit. It is a little. It's not something I would never have ruled it that way before knowing and asking the question, but. Those are the rules. So next up we've got Vitruvian Goblin. How you doing, buddy? This is one half of the Mighty Battle Hammer.
Okay.
How you doing? This is, don't get this wrong, Jamie, Parker.
Parker.
Please be Parker. And he says, firstly, cheers for the Scarlet Shield. You are very welcome. Cheers for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
A great event that was only tainted by my ridiculous hangover on the Saturday morning. Did you see him at lunch?
Definitely Parker.
Yeah, did you see him at lunch?
No,
he was literally crying.
I've seen the review video though.
In brackets, so glad I didn't hurl during lunch. Thank you so much for making the Battle Hammer feel welcome. Roll on the next one, big hugs coming at you. Now for some questions. Number one, as a self-confessed vassal phobic, what are the top 3 things that would finally convince me to give it a try? Have you tried vassal?
No, I am in the same camp. So you can convince me.
I've used it a little bit. I use it. Ian Marley is pretty much the only person I play on it. I don't enjoy it overly. I don't know it massively well. I think I still do some things on their very long way around. It's a great tool. So there's a lot of vassal leagues and stuff, which is another good way of chatting to the community, which is probably one of the big selling points and stuff. But me personally, if I've got sort of games tend to be a lot slower on vassal, and if I've got 3 hours to sit on Skype, I'd rather see if like you or Chris or someone was free and go and get a game. So I'm probably not the best person to sell it, and you've not used it.
For me, the idea is that I'd rather, if I'm playing a tabletop game, I'd rather play it on the tabletop than on my PC.
It's very good for trying things. Like you can go on offline and literally set things up yourself and try new players. And they're getting the new Season 2 cards earlier than anyone else.
Oh, cool.
Like I've noticed now, before they get leaked, they're getting leaked because a post is going up saying update for Vassal, Mash and Bonesaw on there, and that's good. You get to experiment with new lists without getting the standees out or borrowing the models, so that's pretty handy. Other than that, I can't really say too much. Question 2: Bonesaw gives the Morticians the striker that they never had outside of the Union. What are the other teams with holes that need filling, and how would you fill them? So if we go through the teams, so Fishermen, what do you think Fishermen are lacking? Momentous damage.
Well, it's momentous damage, but
the thing about this question is you don't want to fill the holes of every team because they will all just become the same.
Yeah,
it's good that they have a key strength and a massive lacking. And
so I guess what else would there be, which you might see coming up, is the tactic of killing the ball against the Fishermen, where someone just drops it
behind the line,
a good enough player to get that back to the team without dying. Because I've seen it with Brewers players where they'll just drop the ball behind their team. Your one goes in to pick it up and dies.
Yeah, I played against Jeff Porritt the other week, and I was playing my Alchemists, and he literally formed a cone around he gave the ball to Mash, who's got unpredictable in a two-inch melee, and then formed a cone around him, and it was like, every time I go near that, it's just going to destroy me rather quickly.
That's what I found I was doing at the on the top tables.
The Pure Guild.
Guild is that, yes, they can have the ball. I will choose to kick. They can have it. I'll kick it to a corner of the pitch, close to the edge. We'll fight there for a bit. You'll get a goal. I'll kick it back out to that space. And by this point, you're hurting more than I am.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then I've killed hopefully about 3 and walked towards your goal.
It negates the footballing teams a bit too much, but if you look at the flip side of it, the fighty teams are always going to have something to fight.
Yes.
Which is quite interesting. So that, I see your point there. But again, I wouldn't like every like we said, I wouldn't like every negative fill-in, because then your teams would all just start to look very similar. And I like the fact that you pick the one that suits your playstyle.
And then that's Fisherman. We're going to go through the guilds?
Yeah, let's.
Butchers. So do it alphabetically. Alchemists.
Alchemists are because they've got like Midas and Vitriol's a combat monster.
Vitriol, yeah.
And she's she's the best player.
I love Vitriol. She's very versatile.
Midas is that's Midas's net. He does whatever he needs to do. Mercury calculus, your conditions.
I was going to say for them, they've got it now, but Venin is that they lack the bleed condition to surround out their condition.
Yeah, I think that was the thing they were missing. But as of Friday, we now have the bleed condition.
Yes,
Have you seen anyone use Venin in testing or anything like that?
No, I'm not seeing
I'm looking forward to seeing him. He's quite.
Seen him out
he's
there.
got his kick's interesting.
2-8.
Yeah, that's lovely.
And if he poisons himself, he's death 4 armor 2.
Yeah, 4-2.
4-2 is horrible.
Think how hard Blackheart is to hit on 3s too.
4s too. 4-2.
Oh god. Tack 8, tack 6 for example. 3 should hit. 2 armor 1.
One gets through. Yeah.
We like Venin.
Venin's good. Venin's
you bonus time it and you got a 3-8 kick. That's beautiful. So that's Alchemist. Then we've got Brewers.
Brewers. Yeah. So what are they missing?
They've got. Like, I keep underestimating how good a striker Friday is.
Friday's incredible.
So good, yeah.
When she's near Spigot, she gets like 5'11" with better than Beer.
And like they've got Balls Gone and all the little
Balls Gone on too.
So good.
Spigot.
So they've got the football. They've clearly got the beatdown side.
I think Brewers are quite a nice rounded team. That's why you don't really see much union in a Brewer team. No,
I think Brewers and Masons are the hardest teams to put.
To say they need someone else. Yeah.
Butchers have got it all.
Butchers
as much as they are the damage team, their football is crazy good.
Like scoring so easy.
They're all tackling. I think they're all tackling momentously on that too.
1 or 2, yeah.
Even the dog tackles on 2. It's obscene. Yes. The I've said it before. Considering how good the Butchers are at football, annoys me how bad the Fish are at fighting.
Yes, yeah.
If that makes sense, because they're what they class as like the polar opposites. Yeah, exactly.
What the Butchers are.
I don't think the Butchers are missing much. Have they got much control, like opponent movement and things like that?
They don't have movement. That's why they need gutter.
Yeah.
They lack the sort of control element on the pitch.
Yep. So that's Butchers. Who's next?
Alchemists, Brewers, Butchers, Engineers. Yeah.
Engineers.
I get Dodges really is their
speed. They're slow.
Yeah.
They are slow. They've got velocity.
4-7 on them.
Yeah. They need. It's interesting because I like to play football with my Engineers, but they're just lacking a bit of oomph compared to your Fishermen and your Alchemists. Yeah. They're just a little bit too slow on it. So a bit more speed, I'd say, would.
That's why we might see Hoist come into play if he takes where they go.
Yeah, exactly.
Fast player.
He was sold on Black Friday, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
Do we know what his card is? Do we know what his base speed is?
It's up on there. I think it's. Let's see if we can find it on there.
Let's have a look. Because like you say, if he's something like 5'7" with a where they go to and engage himself, him and Velocity would be great as a pair of strikers on the wings.
Definitely. So once we find Hoist, do you want Engineers?
So Engineers, next up, Morticians.
Fishermen we've done.
No, Masons. Fish we've done Masons.
Yeah,
Masons. Again, Masons are tough because they've got the super striker that is Flint.
Yeah.
They've got Brick, which is area control.
Yeah.
They've got Honor and Mallet, who are just damage monsters. Even the Monkey has got a level of board control with it with Goad. I'm getting a serious love for Goad at the moment as well.
Goad is good.
Use it and then move.
Yeah. So you
back.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. So again, Masons, as we mentioned, are probably the team that I don't think need Union at all at the moment. Chisel as well.
Yeah,
Chisel.
Chisel's good.
Chisel is so good. So Masons are solid the way they are. And then Morticians. As you mentioned in part of your question, Morticians have been given the striker, which was the obvious gap.
Yep, was the hole.
In any look?
No, I know it's on the Guild Ball front page.
It's cool.
But it's gone.
It's cool. So, but Hoist being able to take where they go or quick foot does give them more mobility. But yeah, the Morticians have been given Bonesaw, which was the clear sort of gap in the Morticians' play style because it was always mist, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Your Morticians team always had mist.
You need mist in the team.
Yeah. So that's Morticians. Who's left?
Union.
Union
Don't need anyone.
Union are good. We're not even going there.
Yeah.
Union are
not opening that hole.
Yeah, so we'll leave that one alone. And then he says, number 3, you've said before that momentum use is what separates a good player from an average one. I'd agree. I think that's a great point. I agree with what I've said there. What then gets people from that is where am I up to? What then gets people from that up to top table glory? I think with Guild Ball, one of the key things is knowing your enemy. You need to know the tricks. You need to have a base knowledge of all the teams. So you're not like if you think when we were all learning, we've all had Mist score 3 goals. We've all had Rage tear a hole in us, and it's about learning it, being able to see it coming, and you adapt to it. Yeah, I'd say that's probably one of the key things that will take you up in your level of play. And then he says, like the Stephen Jack Newtons of the world. Brackets, damn them to hell. I think they both beat him at weekend. They beat us all, man. We've got to ban them from our events. They've won every one.
Yeah.
Like, it's a Newton thing. They're winning all our events. I'm going to come and win yours. Probably not. I'm going to try. Cheers for another great show, fellas. You keep filming them and I'll keep asking questions. Kick it in the goal. Well, cheers, buddy. And it was great meeting you at Skaldic. We hope to see you at the next one.
Man, you dodged this.
Yeah! I'm going to get comfortable because Jamie's got a nice...
essay.
Quick question.
Pierre Medeiros, he says, hey gents, appreciating all the hard work which is obviously being put into the show.
Thank you.
I was meaning to give a question for this episode, but alas no. Consequently, I'm going to try and give you something you can use this time around. I'll start by giving some general feedback and suggestions and finish up with a list of questions and topics you hopefully will find useful.
Cool.
I apologise in advance if what I write comes across as abrasive or opinionated.
Okay.
My hope is that somewhere in the village I shall be writing is something that will help you guys continue producing the content which I absolutely adore each week.
Good stuff.
Overall, the show has a good structure, but I feel the Q&A element by itself has run its course. Hypotheticals, what would be the best mixed skill be, and what is your favourite insert subject is fine in small doses. However, as questions are drying up, they are becoming a bit overly common. Diversity and creativity in viewer questions is the key, I feel. However, some people struggle finding original questions when they are not given a context. Giving people a specific topic to ask questions about, in addition to regular open questions, might give some people some inspiration. Additionally, having an established subject means people have something concrete to speculate and anticipate, leading viewers more strongly towards thoughts of tuning in next time to see what happens.
Yeah.
Variants in styles of discussion will be great as well, so mixing in some free-form discussion with the question-response format. You guys are already doing this naturally, which is great, but I feel you could indulge yourselves a bit more with the following the tangents of discussion and see what arises from that. Everyone who has been a host so far has displayed great personality, panache and banter, and the more you take advantage of this naturalistic conversation style while still incorporating the informative nature of your show, the better the show will be. To conclude, I'll reiterate that everything I've written is solely meant to try and provide some feedback for you guys you can use towards the betterment of your already brilliant show, and that the hard work is much appreciated. This comment has gone on pretty long, so I'll post this up and then do another with as many questions as I can think of. Peace, gents.
And breathe. That was a long one. Well, first of all, thank you very much.
You get the next one.
Oh man, it's again, you're killing us. Feedback is massively appreciated. I don't think I agree thinking that the Q&A format will dry up. I mean,
no.
you're a bit of, you can test
100 episodes, woo!
Jamie over on the GBHL podcast, as you did, shattering glass door.
Yeah. What was that noise? Yeah.
No, Jamie has got Speak Friend in Question, which is your Lord of the Rings and Hobbit Q&A session, which is pretty much what I stole this format from, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, well, we stole it from Sit and Talk.
So there we go. But basically, and Jamie has just hit 100 episodes. And the main reasoning I find for these shows is, one, I think it's great to have one of you painting or when we're all getting hobby time in. And two, I think it really aims at newer players as well.
Yes, yeah, that's what we found with Speak Friend in Question.
Yeah.
We have 2 shows over on the GBHL podcast. There's Speak Friendly Question and the Plantier. Now are 2 big talky shows.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how we see it ourselves is that Speak Friendly Question can attract the newer players who want to ask questions, get involved in the game, and obviously get that sort of direct communication with the hosts.
Yep.
And then the Palantir, which is sort of like for the more experienced players who want to discuss one topic for an hour.
Absolutely.
Although the first half an hour is babble.
Yeah. But no, and I don't necessarily think it's run its course. I think it's still very early days. I mean, this is episode 5. We had quite a quiet one last week. I think it may take a bit of time to sort of grow legs and get to...
Yeah, definitely.
So, like there have been weeks where I've had to ask certain people if they can pose questions, but I'm quite confident it'll...
What I think you'll see as well is, as new models are released, you'll get more questions about the new model that comes out. Yeah. How best to use Hoist, how best to use Venin, how have you seen Venin used in this game, do you think Venin's overpowered, all that kind of questions.
And like you mentioned about having different people on, it's great because you'll also get... me and Chris are quite keen to film, doesn't always have to be both of us, because Jamie can bring a different opinion and outlook, and James can. So that's what we're going for with it. And I love filming this, I must admit. And I'm quite confident that it will grow legs. But your feedback is massively appreciated. And for the point you've made regarding shows with a very much like the Palantir with a specific topic, me and Ian Marley are actually looking at doing something for this. Cool. We think effectively any tournaments we both hit, we're going to go and sort of stock film them. We're looking at like there will be one for maybe the best big guy, our personal favourite season 1 characters. So the questions you may get asked over and over, we're actually going to do a dedicated show for those, just so and
like Speak Friendly Question FAQs.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, it's not going to be FAQs. It's going to be just like
topics.
A key topic we can sit and talk about. And interesting you brought it up because I can ask you guys, what would you be happy if that was in some sort of Skype format? Does it have to be me and Ian sat on the sofa? Because if you know Ian, he lives in Hartlepool and I'm in Manchester, so we are going to, whenever we can meet up at events, we are going to film some stuff, but we're also looking at doing some of it online. Yeah. So let me know how you think you'd take that, and also any suggestions for topics you'd like us to cover in a very specific format. So thank you for that question, and then I think we move on to your next question, which is your questions, buddy. And they are, we'll tackle these one by one. And your first question is, the pre-measuring element of the game has helped with many of the traditional negative play experiences of miniature gaming. However, it can lead to longer games and is definitely a factor in competitive play where time is limited. Do you have any thoughts on this subject / tips for effective and timely pre-measuring (meaningful measurements)?
I think we're quite gifted coming from the Lord of the Rings community where we always have pre-measuring.
I've never known wargaming without pre-measuring, I must admit.
I used to play Fantasy in 7th edition where you couldn't pre-measure, and I believe 40k in 5th you couldn't either.
Okay.
And in Fantasy I used to play Empire, so I had a lot of cannons, and through using a lot of cannons, you tend to get, like, War Machine has it as well, you get a good eye for ranges.
I believe the good X-Wing players are the ones who can really figure out ranges on the table.
Well, X-Wing's a little bit different because if you learn the templates, you know where if you learn it, you can know where your ship's going to be.
Yeah.
The thing with sort of having a cannon or War Machine, but some players will have transferable skills, is that you'll be able to put 2 points on a board and make a rough estimate between the 2 points.
Yeah.
Rather than with X-Wing, if I put my 2 template down there, my ship will end up here.
Yeah, makes sense. I think with Guild Ball, one of the things I do a lot in my head, because one thing about pre-measuring is it can reveal what you're going to do.
Yeah.
You don't want to reveal. Now, what I will tend to do is I'll roughly work it out using the pre-marked lines on the official pitches, which we use a lot. So your 2 deployment lines are both 10 inches on. So between those is 16 inches.
24.
10, 20, and then 16 in between them for 36. Your deployment line's 10 that side, and that one's 10 that side, so that's 20.
Oh, yeah,
so there's 16 in the middle. Yeah, 36, 3 foot.
Oh, I'm thinking of goals. My bad.
So your goals are 24 apart, and between the 2 deployment lines it's 16 apart. So I tend to use those, and the official Guild Ball pitch is also at the halfway line.
Yeah.
So I tend to sort of use those as rough markers of things again, because you don't always want to go, let's, in the maintenance phase, you put an influence out and you go, yes, good to will reach. And the amount of times I've done that, and then tried to completely hide it by measuring 3 other random things, and it's quite clear what I'm trying to do. But you're getting your basic eye, and I find using the pitch markings is a good tool for pre-measuring in Guild Ball. The next one is, where is it? The pre-measuring is a great tool for players to have, but do you feel it could be a detriment? What you measure in many ways can give away what you're planning / thinking about, which we've just covered. In addition, if you have a good eye for distance and there is potential to go through the motions of only measuring out of play, only to do a different one which you have measured visually with the aim of misdirection in your opponent's thoughts. I think we've just covered that.
We just covered
one thing that's interesting is, do you remember the very early Beasts of War video where Matt Hart went on to do like a Guild Ball demo?
Yeah, so they had no
pre-measuring for the kits. You had to place the kit and then see if it was like
if it was in range.
And I am glad they got rid of that. Yeah, we don't want that in Guild Ball.
It just speeds the game if you don't have that.
It does, I agree. Next one, do you have any tips and tricks when thinking about dice math? Predicting average damage results from parting blows and the like. I'm rubbish at this stuff. I waste so much time on my clock figuring out if this is good. What about you?
I'm pretty decent at maths, dice maths.
It's like 4 plus half are going to hit.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, so if you're forced to hit, think half will hit minus your armour. If it's 5s to hit you, 1/3 will hit. If it's 6s, you're pretty safe unless they got knocked down on 1. If it's 2s, don't do it.
Yeah, if it's 2s, they're going to get whatever they want to get. Yeah, I think that's...
Oh, but sometimes I just do it regardless.
Just do it.
Like if I'm thinking, right, I need like sharks charging in. Okay, I need 4 hits. You've got 1 armor. You def 4. I should do it on average. Let's just do it.
Yeah, you just go for it. Sometimes you may as well just have a go and not waste the time. And then he says, when you evaluate the strength of a player, what thought processes do you go through? Do you think of them relative to the rest of their team against equivalent players in the game, or against a kind of game average? So, first thing I always look for in a player is melee range.
Are we talking about... Okay, I think okay, so we're talking about players in the game, not players that are playing the game.
Oh, okay.
Not gamers.
What thought do you... Yeah,
relative
to the rest of their team. So the couple of key things I look at when looking at which players, like melee ranges.
Yeah.
I think 2-inch melee is so huge in this game.
It's a massive.
Other than that, it's the character plays and their playbooks.
Yeah.
Like great players like Compound can be let down by a very less than average
playbook.
Minx, another example of that. Yeah. Great player, bad playbook.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Same with Brick as well.
Brick, yeah.
Cool player. Has his first 2 as 1 and 2 stuck at them, and then he gets knocked down on 3. It's awful. Yeah. Defense is something to look at.
Yep, defense is a big one.
Defense and hitboxes relative to the defense.
Yes.
Like something I think Hemlock took the biggest hit from was that she went down to defense 5 because defense 6 was too powerful, but her hitboxes stayed at 10.
Yeah.
So now defense 5 with 10 hitboxes makes her very weak.
I think
she goes down very easy now.
Tell you one big thing that I look for, and I was like, gluttonous mass. That is an ability of the gods, right? Yeah, if it's got gluttonous mass, take it. But yeah, there are a few of the things I look for. Next up, when organised play requiring with organised play requiring a fixed captain and mascot (brackets), I think that's right, and then a pool of 8 players from which 4 are selected to make up your full team. Yes, correct.
Is it correct? I think it's you take 8 players, including your captain mascot.
Yeah, that's what you said.
No.
Require and then a pool of 8. Oh no, sorry. So X plus 8. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, X plus 8. X is your captain.
Oh yes, sorry, yeah.
And then your 8 is your 8 players. Correct, yeah. What considerations / criteria do you look at when choosing your competitive pool of players? So
you look at your 2 spectrums. So you look at combat. You look at.
So if I'm playing a team that can outfight me, I'm going to go more football based. If I'm playing a team that can score 3 goals with ease, I will go combat based. You never want to play an opposing team at its own strengths.
Yeah.
Because it's going to win. That's fundamentally what it's going to do.
Which is interesting because I think both Craig and I thought that at the grid final.
Okay.
And we ended up playing essentially mirror match fisherman.
Oh, was it a fish off?
Yeah, but he had obviously shark. We both had shark salt.
You like siren, I bet you.
No, there was no siren. Both had Sakana. Both had Fangtooth. And the only differences were I had Jack and Gutter because I was going pure fighty, and he had Hemlock and Grayscales.
Okay, I've got so much love for Jack at the moment.
Jack's great.
That heroic just changes the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, does where are we up to next? There we go. Yes, we've done that one. I'm a beginner Masons player. Please name each player on the Masons team along with an overview of the role they fill and an interesting interaction / fact about them. Brackets. To be honest, you could do this for all the teams and it would be useful. I'm not going to do that for all the teams.
Go check out the Guild Ball TV. I've done this video with Jay Clare.
Yeah, actually, yes. Go check out Guild Ball TV. Jamie and a very good Masons player. He's won a tournament now.
Yes, yeah.
A tournament winning Masons player, Jay Clare. have done a Meet the Masons video, and that will give you the individual player breakdown, what their role is in the team, a full view of their cards and how they work together.
At the moment, it's just season 1, so there's no chisel, but it's a good resource.
Yeah, so I think we will leave that one and divert you over to Guild Ball TV, which I'll stick a link in the comments below.
Thank you.
Next up, it's that I want to see this actor / celebrity play this player in the Guild Ball movie game. Daniel Day-Lewis's Rage. Yep, was already given to us. I'll throw out some of my own and hopefully you gents will feel like joining in. Honor, Emily Blunt. Who's Emily Blunt? No idea.
I'm not a pop culture guy. Emily Blunt.
No, she doesn't look hard enough. Like the amount of damage Honor can do. I want Ronda Rousey as Honor. She doesn't look tough enough. She's a bit dainty.
Harmony, Gina Malone.
We don't know who that is.
It's a handy having.
Well, she's in Batman. That's like a win. I'll go with that. Yeah. She maybe looks quite fitting.
Yeah, I can see it.
Our pop culture's shocking. I don't know any of these people.
Danny Darko. Hunger Games.
Okay. Who's next?
Who else we got?
Flint, Troy Baker. Who's Troy Baker?
I don't know. I'm not laughing at that.
Okay.
We'll find out. We'll have a look at him.
Let's see if this is Flint.
Troy.
This is like great viewing for these guys. I was googling something.
You said that can be.
That's Flint.
That's Flint.
That's Flint. Yeah. Tower, Henry Cavill. Yeah, that's Superman. We know him.
Do we? Okay.
Yeah. Give him that.
The Mist.
Go on.
John Cena.
Yes, God, yes. Although he looks more like marbles. Yes. That is, and I agree with all of those absolutely massively. So, cheers for all the input and the questions, and we hope to hear from you again next week.
Cool. Next up, we've got Lance Becker. He says, "Hey guys, Lance from Muse on Minis. Love the show and channel, and thank you for being involved on the Muse on Minis network as we get more and more into Guild Ball.
Good stuff.
As for my question, I'm interested in becoming a pundit for my area over here in the States. My application is on the way and pending, but can you explain what the duties of a pundit truly are? What does Steam Forged and my players expect from me to do to really live up to the title? Demos and tournaments for sure, but how often to be effective? Also, in games like War Machine, the tendency is to push a list into the skew of some sort, i.e. all melee, all shooting, highest defense, highest armor, to win tournaments. You think Guild Ball follows that trend? To force you to take a list of all football or all damage to be the most competitive in tournaments? Or can you run a mixed list of shooting and damage and get good results in the finals tables? Cheers from the growing US meta and keep up the good work."
Well, thank you for asking a question. So, regarding the pundit scheme to apply, I think if you go on the forums, there is a thread where you can, I think it's Northy at steamforge.com.
I think Northy's taking a break from it at the moment.
Yeah.
I think if you.
I think it's still through that email though.
It's going. They're all getting bounced through to support anyway.
Okay. So go over to the forums and have a look, and you will find everything you need to do there. And you just have to fill in an app. We're both pundits.
We're both pundits. Yeah.
Both pundits. Regarding what?
I don't think I'm really a pundit anymore since I work for the company.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but anyway.
So regarding what the pundits do at this moment in time, to be quite honest, it's a little bit unclear. Yeah. They are a new company and a busy company, and I think it's on their list of to do.
List of things to get sorted, definitely.
Yeah, they're definitely working at it. I know there's stuff going on behind the scenes. Hopefully, we will find out something more soon.
League packs have been sent out to some people.
Yep, the Figo League pack.
Figo League pack to try and get the local league started. That's sort of the aim of the pundits at the moment, is to start your local leagues.
Yep.
But other than that, there's not a great deal going on.
My belief of the pundit system is very much to get out there and spread the love for Guild Ball, show people the game, and you will be rewarded, I believe, with things that maybe aren't available to other people. Pundits, you will get quite exclusive things for being part of this scheme and this community. Future, so
that's that. Also, games like War Machine, the tendency is to push a list into a skew of some sort, so all melee.
No, I don't think that's
does Guild Ball follow that trend to force you to take a list of all football or all damage? No,
not at all. I've never heard that.
Want it to be
very much community driven meta. Yeah, I've never heard that. So yeah, cheers for the question, Lance. Good to hear from you. Thanks for letting us share over on Muse on Minis, and we hope to hear from you next week, bud. Yeah. And next up, we've got Matt Hatt. We've got Guild Ball royalty in the house.
Guild Ball royalty, my boss. So. My boss watches the channel. Hello, sir.
Question: would you rather have a tongue for a finger or a finger for a tongue? Okay.
I'd rather a tongue for a finger.
A tongue.
Like what? It's not just the one.
No.
Well, Andy.
Yeah, I wouldn't like a finger for a tongue because you'd end up scratching you inside. Yeah, I would like a tongue for a finger. So like, yeah.
It can get really rude.
Don't go there.
It can get really crass.
We're gonna keep it over here right now and move on. Don't make the noise. So, Matt Hart again, second question. Serious question. Great looking model, but why should I take Tower in my Masons lineup? When, who do I drop, and how do I use him?
So Tower, I've tried using him quite a lot, and I think currently for me he's not working for me at the moment.
I think Tower has a lot more weight now you've got Chisel.
Yes.
Because he has a heroic play where
those close,
yeah, so she can be down at that level where she turns into an absolute damage monster, and he can protect it. But
he can take the hits.
The flip side of that is, again, it messes with your order of activation because he's going to have to go first in position and activate his heroic.
Yeah,
and they're going to
run into it.
Yeah, and then when your opponent has an activation in between, they're going to very clearly see what's coming. I think he is tough at the moment to get in a Mason's lineup.
He is, yeah. So his best ability is obviously shutout.
Yeah,
that is
being able to make someone go last in a turn is an amazing ability.
Which is where that could tie in quite nicely with Chisel. So you shut someone out.
Heroic.
We're going to kill this person. Heroic's active.
So,
the other thing he's got is the knockback. So when he does an attack, he pushes an inch and dodges an inch towards them.
Yeah, that's good.
So he can push someone 4 inches toward a board edge. However, what I find I struggle with him is there's usually greedier players for influence. And I think like if I give Mallet 4, he's going to do more than Tower will do with 4.
That's the thing. I've only used Masons 2 or 3 times, I must admit, and I've played very little against them, if I'm honest. But it's usually Mallet 4. Honor 6, and you're either going to see the Honor and Harmony combo or Honor giving
Wombo combo,
or you're going to see like Mallet tooled up with superior strategy, going twice, hitting something in the head with 5 influence. Then, so like you say, Masons are a greedy team, so you would to put Tower in, you would be building it around Chisel being the damage component, as opposed to Honor, and maybe Honor would just be used for a football skills with Harmony.
Yeah.
But cheers for the question, Mark, and I hope you ask again next week, 'cause it's nice to know you're watching and that you're involved.
Next up, we've got
A to the Apex. You know that is
A to the Apex. Oh, okay. A to the Pex.
It's Chris Hay.
Oh, is it Chris Hay? Oh, he's commented on his own video.
No, that's not sad. Sorry. Thank you. Comments. I think this is a gentleman who doesn't have YouTube or Facebook.
Oh, so
a friend of Chris's, so
okay.
we let Chris post it on his behalf just because he doesn't have a way. Well, he must have YouTube because he watches
I think it's
Facebook.
from Hasbex.
Yeah, there we go.
So I have a question. As Guild Ball is a sports game, where do you think it will be in 5 years' time? Once the campaign system is done in Season 2, how would you like to see the game advance to keep players interested? More guilds, more players, or something else? What would you like to see to keep the longevity of the game alive?
So where do we see it in 5 years' time? I think this game's going to be huge in 12 months, not 5 years. Yeah. The rate, you've got to remember, this game only came out in April on retail.
I guess you've obviously got the growth.
Yeah.
It's how you keep it from peaking and keep the curves going up. So 5 years down the line, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know. I think in 12 months' time, because that's a bit easy to foresee, I think it's going to be one of the biggest names in war. It's going to be one of the household war game names with your Infinities and your Malifaux. It already is. I mean, you think it came out in April, and we're not even 12 months in yet, and it's huge. It's massive. And I mean, the interesting thing is, the last couple of people I've showed Guild Ball to, they've no idea it's a Kickstarter. It's not seen as a Kickstarted project anymore, which has a bit of a stigma. It's seen as a war game, which I think is great. So I think it's got some serious legs.
What can we do to see the game keep players interested? Definitely more guilds, like more play styles to bring in.
Keep it fresh.
More players to change up the current guilds. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Something else. Something I've noticed on all the players' cards is they've all got a location where they come from. A World Cup would be amazing.
That would be so cool. I think somebody posted it on the forums, and one of them is really broken. Yeah, it's like Obulus with boar with something obscene.
There's some of them said. I think the unknowns are really powerful.
Yeah.
You know, you've got Blackheart as your captain, Coin as your mascot.
I'm done. That'll be my team. I'm sold.
Kraken and Siren are definitely there. Mist is in there. I think Mist is unknown as well.
What a team!
And then there's a couple more.
Yeah, that would be cool. So seeing like a national team. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's one of those things. If you think about war games, some games are out 20 years. The fundamental game is great. It's literally about keeping it fresh, I think. So thank you for the question. And next up is the old buzzard. Thank you for asking a question, buddy. and he says Dirge is killed by the unmasking of Gast. If this is the first time, do the opponents get the additional get the 2 VPs? Yes, because if an enemy model suffers the taken out condition, your opponent.
Okay, so it's
the first time.
If he's killed it.
Yeah.
Yes, you get the opponent will get the 2 VPs, and they would not suffer the -4 momentum
That's
stay
winning.
on it.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for that. Shall I do the next one? That was a bit short.
Yeah, sure.
Mr. Snowyak.
Snowyak.
I don't know how I said that. Nice show again. Last week I did play my first practice game versus myself. Classics Fish Union, Gutter Rage, Minx, Fangtooth, of course, Blackout and Coin. My kids were very drawn to it like a moth from a flame. Question 1. What is a good age to start playing Guild Ball?
How old's Jack Newton?
Jack Newton is 11, I think. I've also played Jamie Perkins' stepdaughter, who's 10, and she she nearly beat me.
Yeah.
Like, I think I went into it a bit casual, and she soon went, yeah, take this, I'm really good at this game. She was very good, very good.
About kids is that they're very, very competitive.
Yeah,
they play to win games. They don't play for fun.
Yeah, well, they're there to win.
Yeah,
it's because they've usually got mean dads who just crush them at everything from a young game. Steve Newton, I'm talking about you.
Win at all costs.
Win at all costs. Every time I see who cares who wins now, I just think win at all costs. But so we've got. Like, Jack Newton's won an event. He's won like a 28-man event at 11 years old. He's got an incredible knowledge of the game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like to play him in like 5 years' time.
No.
That's where the game's going to be in 5 years, ruled by Jack Newton. So, question 2. What do you think about the above-mentioned union lineup? Don't own other union models.
Gutter Rage, Minx, Fangtooth, of course, but I think Minx is
Minx has got to go.
Minx is the only one you drop there, possibly for...
Avarice and Greed, because they're for winners.
No, they're not. I think...
Hemlock?
Hemlock could go in there. Or Mist, I think.
I think if you took Minx out of that lineup and put Mist in, that's a very... you see that team a lot. I think that's pretty much the team I'm using at the moment. So thank you for the question, Mr. Snowyak.
And next up we got Hot Gates Gaming again.
Good on you, buddy.
Spamming you.
He is.
Yeah, aren't they?
I'm not complaining, I like it.
Here's one you can discuss for a while. You come into some money and have the opportunity to design a team of 6 players based on yourselves and 4 other guild balling friends. Tell me about this guild. Who would it be? What would be in it? What the models would look like? What their roles would be in the team? Special rules, character plays, etc. Stats, as well as names.
Ooh.
I'd be captain.
You'd be the mascot.
Be the mascot.
Captain.
Do one.
You're the big guy. No, I'm not going there. Ed Ball, 50mm base.
Yeah,
Ed Ball on a 50mm base.
Ed Ball's the big guy.
Yeah, Ed Ball's the big guy, and me and you will be in the team.
Yeah.
We'll call it season 2. We can be joint captains. Yeah. 2 captains, season 2. So what?
He said 6 players only.
Oh, okay, so.
We're going to argue over captain. Let's just agree we're not captains.
Okay, so who's the captain?
I don't know.
Let's do Chris Hay as the captain.
Oh, really?
What would Chris Hay? Here we go. What would Chris Hay's stat line be?
I think it'd be high defense. Because he's quite skinny.
Hard to hit. Yeah.
It's hard to hit.
Yeah. Tack 2, 3. No.
Let's go. Right.
What would Chris Hay be?
He's a captain, so he's got to be tack 6 minimum.
Yep. Okay.
Movements.
He looks fast. He goes to the gym and stuff.
6'8" then.
5'8".
5'8".
Yeah. 5'8" movement. Yep.
It's 5'8" move. Tack 6. Defense. 4, 5.
I don't think there's any armor. There's no padding on him, is there? Yeah. 5's no armor.
5-0.
Influence.
4-6. Just keep it
4-6. Yep. Character plays. Chris Hay.
They're a real guild. Selective union.
Selective union.
You can only play for union, but he's selective about it.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a tough question.
It's a tough question, yeah.
Yeah. I tell you what.
It's essentially making 6 balanced profiles, which we can't.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. I think I'm going to struggle with that one on the spot, so I may come back to that one in a future video, buddy. And next up, we've got Sam Page of Mid-Sussex Wargamers, and he says, I have to agree, Sakana is awesome. He has become a staple member of my team. I'm looking forward to trying out Chisel and Mash. Chisel and Mash are both incredible players. What do you think of Mash?
Mash is cool. I really want to see him on the pitch. I've not seen him played. I've not seen him used.
Seen him once.
I've not theorised, but some dodges are something that the Brewers lack immensely. So him having a 2-inch dodge can make him reposition a little bit.
Do you think Smaug has a place in Guild Ball?
Smaug?
Yeah. No. Can you imagine? 120mm base. Yeah. No, Smaug does not have a place in Guild Ball because it'd be more broken than if he was in the Hobbit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he says, on a more Guild Ball related question, do you think we will see any other races of play? This is interesting, I've thought about this.
Yeah.
Obviously we have humans and various animal mascots, but it'd be cool to have some non-human players. Do you think we ever will?
I don't know, I think the world's quite...
It's interesting that it doesn't go down the stereotypical dwarves and elves.
Yeah,
and
it's very low fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, you've got those archetypes in humans.
Yeah.
However, like, Greed, his model doesn't look human.
No, he's a bit...
He's
weird,
tiny, he's got big pointy ears, he looks almost goblin-esque. Like, if you paint him green, he could be a goblin.
Yeah.
Like, magic's hinted at a lot in the fluff, that, you know, like Siren
and like, look at Silence
Mist.
with his orb. And
yeah, like, magic is obviously present in the world, but it's never directly mentioned.
And I think that's good, because Guild Ball will become ridiculous when you can fire blast someone.
When someone starts throwing fireballs,
yeah.
it becomes high fantasy rather than this.
Yeah,
almost Game of Thronesy. But people are aware of magic, but it's not commonplace.
Yeah, keeping it low fantasy, I think, is the way for Guild Ball to stay sort of, I say realistic, but as true to it can be. And then he says, cheers guys, well cheers for asking a question, Sam. As always, it's a pleasure, and we'll speak to you next week.
Next up is Soup Can Stubby Holders. He says, question, what is the best counter to engineers, factions, and then just playstyle? What have you found works well, and what is a bad idea to do?
So I'd say the best factions against engineers is alchemists, because you can build a team of like 5+ defense.
I would say the fishermen have got it as well.
And then couple that with the speed, which is something the engineers don't have.
And you can take Siren with the fishermen, so beautiful for -5 inch range.
Yep.
So all the character players have got to be either 1 or 3 away to target her.
Yep, makes sense.
When she carries the ball, she just laughs away.
Yeah. What have you tried works well? So
play style. I played against them with the Alchemist, and I just had to accept that I needed to get one person into combat to get some momentum, to get the rest of the team up and moving.
Yeah.
Because there was a really horrible moment. I was dreading it. That I think 4 of my 6 players, one of them not being, 4 of my 6 players were knocked down on the approach in, and it was sometimes it was before their activation. So their activation was to stand up.
Yeah.
And
so you needed to get some momentum.
Need to get some momentum, but I wasn't able to get there to get it because there's no ranged momentous plays for the alchemists. Yeah. One of them was Flask. One of them was, I think it was Mercury out on the flank. And I was like, oh god, like if I don't get momentum or I don't win this roll off, which I'm not going to do because they're generating momentum as they are, I'm not going to get to them at all. Like, my guys are just in a line on their arses.
Yeah,
and I was like,
that's it. When the engineers pull it off, it works so well, but it's when it stops. Yeah, that's interesting.
I think the only reason I managed to actually get back into the game and eventually win it was they had range and he charged in, and I was like, good, stand up, punch, momentum. Rest of the team, stand up,
get
go,
out, dodge.
Just get into them now, go.
Just literally move around it as best you can. So, hope that's been a bit of a help. And he comes up again with the last question of this week, which is how often...
Since it was the same guy, I was going to finish.
I'll let you take us out.
How often have you seen a player pushed off the board, Campbell? Quite a few.
Yeah, I think it's becoming more popular now. People are
cottoning on to the idea.
Yeah, it's not something you always see as an option when you're looking at the board, but people are getting there now.
Yeah, I sacrificed Stave to push Gutter off the board against Jack Newton with a barrel.
Yep, makes sense.
Which got me up to 10 VPs and then a goal to win it. Got me from 6 to 8 and a goal to win it. Jack tends to hang around that area to heroic play.
Yeah, does he have pushes on his playbook as well?
He's got a momentous push on 1.
Oh man.
And he's got ramming speed, so with 2 influence, if you ramming speed, walk into them, they take a 2-inch push, which is the edge of his melee, push them the extra inch to get the momentum, and then activate your heroic. You get essentially 4, 5, 6, 7 inches of pushes.
Yeah, it's very good. There was a lot of it at Skaldic. Did you watch the Skaldic video I put together?
No, I didn't.
There was a really cool play with the engineers, and I think you had like Salt and Sakana here.
Yeah.
And Shark here, and Salt and Sakana were both on 2 health, so Ballista went bang, Flurry both dead, and then shot Shark off the pitch. 6 VPs, I was like, oh man! I got it on camera as well, it was quite cool. But no, you're seeing a lot more of it like that, and it is a very viable option because, they're coming back with whatever HP they went off with, but it's getting them, and you've got to bear in mind, once they're off the pitch, depending on where the rate of play is, that they could be out for another couple of turns catching up with the move.
Getting back in,
so if you can push someone off the pitch, I think it's a brilliant way.
Well, it's something I was considering with the Brewers, was why I was setting up, or kicking the ball to that flank, because they all push very easily.
Yeah.
And so I could, in theory, push someone off or barrel someone off. And that was my hope for that.
Another interesting thing you're seeing a lot more with off the pitch is kicking the ball off.
Yes.
Now you can't actually kick the ball off, but if you kick it on the line, it will scatter off, and it resets it to the halfway spot.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty handy tactic, which a lot more people are doing. I've started doing it. Yeah. It's quite handy.
I have. Like my mascot, who's sit at the back, if they miss a goal, he'll pick it up, and rather than sort of trying to run back into the pitch, you just go dump it off the side.
And it's a rare day when you do something with salt, isn't it? Just a goalkeeper that stands there like that. I got it.
In the way of the ball, or will occasionally run out just to gang up on someone.
Absolutely. Well, so that's it, guys. That's all the questions for this week. Chris Rutter, I'm calling you out because you didn't ask a question, so you have lost the bet. We had a bet, and he really wants a Kickstarter Ox that I've got at home. And I said, if you comment on every video for a month, you've lost the bet, buddy.
Was it in November? Yeah.
I was gonna take it to Stockton on the 12th. I might take it anyway. But thank you everyone who's asked a question this week. It's really helped us out, and we hope to hear from you all again next week. If you're watching and fancy asking a question, please stick it in the comments below. And as always, guys, please comment, like, share and subscribe. Thank you for Jamie for getting involved.
I don't know your outro.
There isn't one. Really.
There isn't one.
I just steal that bit. So thank you for getting involved this week.
Thank you for having me.
And happy guild balling, guys. Cheers.